It was food, but then the resin and the ants.
Resin is not food. Good morning.
Good morning. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan. And Alex, your mic's not muted, so there's an echo. Oh. Thank you so much.
No, we just have that much vocal presence.
Just a little bit of booming presence for your morning.
We are like, hello, the Concord merchandising store is open.
Oh, thank goodness.
I'm not even feeling well today.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even be here, but I came in.
You agree.
I came in to let the BBs know that Concord merchandise is now available on PlayStation.com.
Well, you've all been waiting, obviously. All 8 people that played Concord.
Here it is. I'm just gonna head to the PlayStation store.
Okay, all right.
And we're gonna take a look at this good Concord merchandise. Because it doesn't matter. This is normally the part of the show where we're like, oh, how are you doing? Oh, how are you doing?
Yeah, it is.
No. There's only one thing that's worth talking about this morning.
A Concord logo hoodie.
A Concord logo hoodie. Bring it up on, no, this is not it.
I've got it.
You've got to bring it up on Saige.
I've got it. Thank goodness you can spend $60 on a Concord logo
That's a
hoodie.
bestseller. That's a bestseller.
A bestseller of what?
I don't know, but I think,
of what?
honestly, Saige, can I be real with you?
You may. You want one?
We need to buy all this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay, we've got a beanie. We've got a $30 beanie, a $25 mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, a $30 shirt. That's it. That's all the Concord.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of stuff.
They just put the logo on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But like, I want it all.
Yeah.
I want it all. This is, look.
You could spend considerably less than that.
I'm just going to say this. I am never dunking on the developers of Concord.
No.
The developers of Concord worked very long and hard on a game that was obviously mismanaged.
Yes.
This is obviously stuff that Sony had pre-printed.
Yeah.
That was ready to go for Concord Day.
100%.
And now Sony has to deal with the repercussions of their own actions.
I feel like they just scheduled it to go out on the store and they forgot to cancel it.
Well, they didn't make any sort of announcement about it.
Naturally.
On social.
Yeah.
I think they just quietly put it there. And I think they're counting on people like you and me.
Yeah.
People who wish that we could time travel to Fire Festival.
Right.
People who want to go to DashCon.
Yeah, who love a failure, unfortunately.
I respect the hell out of everybody who worked really hard on Concord. And also, I would love to be the guy wearing Concord merch everywhere.
Now, Anthony, then you've heard about Fire Festival 2, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing about Fire Festival 2. It's no DashCon 2.
No, it's the same people.
That did the first one?
Yes.
There's no way. There's no way they're going to pull it off.
I want you to know.
Nobody's signing up for that. Even you and I are not going to sign up for it.
According to the guy, there's been a ton of, you have to sign up to apply for tickets. So nothing counts until there's money, obviously. But yeah, Fire 2 is taking place April 25th to 28th, 2025 on a private island off the Caribbean coast in Mexico.
I hope it's as private as the last island.
Yeah.
Let's sign up.
Yeah.
Go ahead and sign up for tickets. And then if we get in through the lottery, you and I will go and we'll swim with the pigs.
I mean,
we'll swim with the pigs. We'll have a tomato and or cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
I will sit through the hell of a Fire Festival just to say that I've been there.
I would really, really love to. It says that right now tickets are being purchased. Billy, whatever his name is, Billy McFarland,
the
guy who scammed everybody on Firefest 1, is saying that this is basically going to be a huge hit, according to a recent tweet from him.
It's going to be massive.
He said, 10 hours in, 1,208 unique applications for over 5,000 tickets. Fire 2 will only hold 3,000 people.
Look, here's what I'm going to go ahead and say.
Yeah.
It's not real until Ja Rule says it's real.
Do you know how much tickets cost?
How much?
Between $1,400 and $1.1 million. You could give the Firefest guy $1.1 million if you wanted to.
Dude, if you give the Firefest guy $1.1 million, I suggest you circumvent the Firefest guy and simply throw Firefest.
Yeah, you could just have your own Firefest.
What are you?
It would cost a lot less just to get the tents and cheese and bread if you really wanted to recreate the first one. But
I mean, you're a Costco girly now. We can probably get cheese and bread real cheap.
For sure. Yeah. I've got a hookup. So if anybody wants to drop $1.1 million and put on a Firefest, you can use my Costco membership.
$1,400. Do you know how many limited edition Concord hoodies you can get for that? They're only $60 a piece.
Yeah. And
You know
I
what I
imagine
mean?
they only made 50.
God, we really got to buy one of everything.
Yeah.
We really do. Blade of Creation says, hang on, I got it. Concord is the hyperscape of Section 8s. Wow. Games as a service, am I right?
Games as a service.
Who is being served?
Not I. Are you?
No. What does the $1.1 million ticket get you to Firefest?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know yet because there is currently no lineup and no talent has been booked.
But McFarlane says it's not just going to be music. For example, we got karate combat. I'm sorry, what? We're in talks with them to set up a pit to have live fights at Firefest 2.
There's going to be a fighting pit at Firefest 2.
Now, it's not professional fighters. It will simply be two people from Firefest fighting for a cheese sandwich.
Dude, I want to get in the fighting pits at Firefest 2.
You will simply have to get into if you want a sleeping bag or one of those FEMA tents.
Yeah.
If you want one of the good FEMA tents.
You have to win it in a fighting pit.
You have to, it's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
They've got Goro from Mortal Kombat. If you pay $1.1 million, you're essentially paying for Goro from Mortal Kombat.
In addition to that, you're paying for the claim that there will be luxury yachts. Not explaining what they're going to do.
They're just going to be there.
Planes that will allow attendees to travel to other islands and countries.
Oh, like Animal Crossing.
Yeah, and scuba diving. Also kind of like Animal Crossing.
Wow.
It's a little bit of swimming and scuba now.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, if it happened, big if true, I guess.
Big if true. Listen, while you're out there spending money on Firefest tickets and Concord hoodies, please do go to pixelcircus.shop or pixelcircus.store.
Thank you. I was going to say this earlier, but we moved on. For a whole lot less than a Concord shirt or hoodie, hell, even less than a Concord mug, you can get yourself this really great t-shirt. Show my screen, Alex. Show it to him. Show it to him. Thank you. Look at this. It says, it's Ronald Reagan's fault. And at the bottom, it says, it's too early.
Look at that.
That's pretty good.
We got logo stuff too.
Yeah.
We got all
you
kinds
get
of stuff.
yourself like one of those nice It's Too Early mugs instead.
Or a Pixel Circus mug.
Yeah.
Or.
Oh, this one's a Pixel Circus one. I clicked on the wrong one. Yeah.
And here's the thing. In a few weeks, we might also have Concord merchandise.
Yeah. I don't think anyone will stop us.
Like,
honestly.
who's going to know? Who's going to know? Skywalker says that they are wearing their Pixel Pal shirt with the teddy bear.
Ooh, I like that one. I wear that one a lot too. It's really cute. Oh, I keep clicking on the wrong stuff. I don't know why.
Pixel Fest went. We need $1.1 million.
All we need is $1.1 million. And then Pixel Fest is on.
Jesus, could you imagine? Could you imagine just somebody handing you $1.1 million? I imagine it every day.
I was going to say, I think about it all the time.
I think about it all the time.
What I would do with that all the time.
I wake up every morning to whatever my landlords put on my door.
Yeah.
And I just think to myself, $1.1 million would really solve this.
Yeah.
I won't even get greedy. We can round down.
There you go.
$0.1 million.
There you go.
Even that would fix everything.
Yeah, that would still be pretty great. Our merch does ship internationally. Yes.
Hey.
Check it on the website.
Yeah, it uses the same planes that take Firefest
from different islands.
to different islands.
Yeah. Also, good morning, Alex.
Good morning. My microphone is now on.
Yeah.
On purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Love it.
Would you go to Firefest? If somebody said free ticket to Firefest 2, would you go?
No, absolutely not.
No,
I'm
not for a free ticket?
a go to a desert kind of person, and I'm certainly not a go to a private beach in the Bahamas kind of person.
Yeah, that's so fair.
But I will use your pool.
Okay.
Because it's hot out here.
All right.
That's a balance.
Yeah.
Alex, your teeth look pearly white this morning.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I want you to know that if someone offered me a free ticket to Fire Festival, I would 100% go.
Dude,
I would absolutely go.
Listen, if Billy McFarlane emailed us and was like, hey, I'll give you half price tickets to Firefest.
Yeah.
I'd go.
Yeah, I'd go.
I'd go.
Yeah, I'd go.
We would be there. Instead of $1,400, he was like, listen, if you can scrounge up $700, I'll let you go.
I'm there. I'm so there. I'm so there.
$700 is like they dig a hole in the dirt and they you have to fight two people in the karate fight
I'm
pit.
Still there.
Yeah. It's like, well, meanwhile, the guy who gave $1.1 million is sitting is sitting like the guy, like the emperor in Gladiator.
Yeah.
It's
That's
probably
awesome.
it's probably that guy in Ja Rule sitting at the top,
Yeah, exactly.
just like, no cheese in their sandwich.
100%. Here's the thing. All you have to do is, if you were going to do something like that, you have to be prepared for, do I have enough money to fly myself home if this actually gets bad? Don't go. I wouldn't go if I couldn't go. Okay, if I really needed to, I can book myself a ticket home from Mexico.
Yeah.
You know?
I can check and see if there's a way back to the hotel, back to the airport.
Yep.
And if I can get a taxi back to the airport or a bus or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it's a 3-mile walk, I'm going to the airport.
I'm going to the airport.
And then I've got the money.
Yeah.
Take me home.
That's it. As long as there's that, I'm good.
I've got my official Firefest attendee shirt.
Awesome. Proof that I was here.
Yeah.
Proof that I lived.
Proof that, yeah. Remember,
if you're already planning
I was.
Acorn says, if you are already planning an escape from an event, maybe it's a sign you shouldn't go.
Or
no, it's not.
Or it's a sign that this event is exactly where we want to go. Acorn, are you new here? Do you not understand us?
Yeah. Do we look responsible? Or do we look like we're doing everything in life for the bit?
If you tell, like, it's a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, it's a bit. You're going to get hurt. I'm like, but it's a bit?
But it's a bit. I'm in.
I'm in for the bit.
Yeah, it's a good bit.
If it's a good bit.
I'm also always preparing to leave anywhere.
Yeah.
When I go to a friend's house party, I have a leaving plan.
Saige
every time I go out.
Saige came over to my house once to watch a movie, and she had a bug out bag with her.
Yeah.
She had a stack of 20s wrapped in plastic wrap.
Yeah.
And a zip gun that she made herself. And like 3 changes of clothes and a road flare.
Just to be ready to go. And it's a really good excuse to leave because people want you to leave your house when they see it.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I go, a birthday party, a bar, a gathering, a lunch, I've always got an excuse prepared to go
home. A dentist appointment.
Yeah. I'm ready to leave.
And her dentist has been like, you cannot bring firearms in here.
Yeah. But also, sometimes you gotta go.
Okay, but you also drill inside of human teeth with a weapon.
So, can we not be on the same level
come
here?
see, come saw. Same. You know what I mean? Everybody, we've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about a lot of great stuff. We have got obviously some more Sony stuff to talk about.
We do.
We have got some wild industry stuff to talk about at Annapurna and Microsoft. And of course, we will be talking about baked goods that can also be lamps. Because I can't get enough of that shit.
And we're going to talk about the harmful effects of eating resin. That's going to be an important part of this. All right, well, let's start with game stuff.
Sure.
Let's start with the biggest game release that we've got here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some big gaming news.
PS5 Pro was announced this week. People
That's not what
said,
we're talking about.
no,
We're gonna get
people
to that.
said, where are the games?
What?
People said, where are the games?
Yeah.
The games are not coming out for PS5 Pro. Where are the games? We'll tell you where the games are.
They're right there on your phone.
They're on your phone. When a kid asks, do you got games on your phone? They're not being weird and they don't want to touch your phone with their snot-covered hands.
Yeah.
They want to know if you get where games are.
Yeah. And finally, your phone can have games on it again because after 10 years, Flappy Bird is back. Now, those of you who had an early iPhone may remember Flappy Bird as I would say one of the first games to blow up on mobile.
It's funny, all of my memories of Flappy Bird are very hazy because I was using my phone as a beer.
Yeah. And he was so drunk.
And I was so drunk from my phone being a beer.
That's not the game. That's the game. There we go.
Yeah.
I don't know all these other things it's showing you. Don't look at those. Don't worry about it.
That's the game. It's back, and it's back in a big and different way.
That's new Flappy Bird?
Yeah, new Flappy Bird is not just what you remember.
Yeah.
Flappy Bird has special modes. It has basketball Flappy Bird. It's got purple.
So
it's got purple now?
So listen.
It's got purple now?
If you weren't around for early iPhone games and you aren't familiar, Flappy Bird was literally just a game that has been replicated a million times on mobile now where you fly between things by tapping your screen. It was a big deal because it was look, we're on a touch screen and that's how it affects it. There are literally like TikTok filters that do this now in app.
It was made by one gentleman, and it was an amazing success. So much so that he said, "I'm done."
He got too overwhelmed and anxious from having such a big game that he took it off the App Store.
People were apparently like, when you're one person,
Yeah.
and this was in the wild west of phone games.
Yeah.
He was getting every support email, every complaint.
Yep.
And like, listen, if you have a complaint about Flappy Bird, no, you don't.
It's
if you
Flappy Bird.
If you have a complaint about Flappy Bird, there's something else in your life that is making you unhappy, and I suggest you look inward.
So, Dong Nguyen, who made the original game, a Vietnamese-based developer, was like, hey, I love that this is a huge success. That's awesome, but it's ruining my life.
He said I can call it a success of mine, but it also ruins my simple life. I love that.
Yeah.
He knew what he wanted.
100%.
And he already got that bag, if we're honest. Was Flappy Bird free?
Yeah, it was free to play.
No.
Yeah, Flappy Bird was free.
That's right, it was.
He was not, in fact, getting the bag.
So people were complaining and making his life horrible over free game.
Yeah.
Wham wham babies.
Yeah. I'm hoping that he's gotten the bag now because obviously he's not coming back with this alone.
No.
Which should be good. It says, with an expanded version aiming for launch by the end of October, multiple platforms, web browser, iOS, and Android. Flappy Bird isn't from Dong Nguyen at all.
No, it's from the Flappy Bird Foundation, which is a Flappy Bird fan group that got together to make the modern version of Flappy Bird.
So it says they have acquired the official Flappy Bird trademark from Game Tech Holdings, a U.S. company that had gotten the trademark from Nguyen.
I don't know if they got it directly from him. Did they get it directly from him or did they just yank it?
It says that they got it. It
Okay.
doesn't say how they got it.
Okay. I remember that being not entirely on the up and up, but my brain is predisposed to thinking that would not be on the up and up.
Yeah. I don't know. But now the Flappy Bird Foundation is bringing it back. They're also talking about new game modes, new characters, progression, and multiplayer challenges.
Yes. I love that they call themselves the Flappy Bird Foundation.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like they're trying to fix birds that are overly flappy.
Yeah.
They are a nonprofit group
that repairs broken wings of birds.
Yeah, that just looks at birds that are flapping too cartoonish.
Oh, yeah.
You know? They're just like, that bird is working too hard.
That's a little too flappy for my liking.
Hey, bird. Swoop.
Tranquilo.
Do a little swoop.
Tranquilo bird.
Tranquilo, Cecino, is what they say.
It's just interesting because, like, in all of this, they never mention the guy who made it. Like, they're not talking about this dude at all in any of their announcements for this game.
Yeah.
And that dude is offline. He left the internet entirely. There's no social media. He doesn't post. He doesn't anything.
I have a feeling, I mean, if the Flappy Bird Foundation truly are devoted fans, I have a feeling they tried to at least check in with him.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that he said, if you got in touch with somebody who basically erased himself from the internet, I'm sure his thing was like, cool, do not mention me.
Yeah.
Do not bring any attention my way.
If
this way lies madness.
If they're real fans.
If they're real fans.
If the Flappy Bird Foundation is actually a fan collective and not people looking to make a little money. I don't know.
Maybe a bit of both.
Maybe a bit of both.
Maybe a bit of both.
I'm very curious.
Huge game release.
Yeah, I will say.
I will be getting this.
Yeah, I'll download Flappy Bird again.
Of course I will.
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't I?
love to download a mobile game that ruins my life for a week.
Yeah. I have the thing now on my phone where during business hours, it will not let me open games.
That's really great.
Yeah.
I also wanted to give an update on the Barbie phone, on thy Barbie phone.
Thine Barbie phone.
It's not on sale yet. But
thy Barbie phone appeareth.
Yeah. I've signed up for the pre-order that you can do, but you can't order it yet. They acted like it was on sale, and then you click on it, and it was just like, cool. And you're like, no, give it to me. You have this listing on the website,
like,
and they're
no.
like, I bet, yo, you want that, don't you? And I'm like, I do. Can I have it?
And they're like, no, we know.
Yeah, give us your email. I'm like, okay. Can I buy it now? And they're like, no.
No.
And I'm like, when? And they're like,
But guess what? Now we have your email. Get ready.
yeah, I guess.
Get ready for a lot of emails.
Yeah. So I'm waiting. And then I'm getting that Barbie phone. And then there will be no Flappy Bird for me either during business hours.
Can I tell you something? Speaking of people reaching out to you.
Oh.
Political candidates. I don't have any money.
Oh my God.
I simply do not have any money. And it doesn't matter how you couch this. They are getting weird with it.
Yeah,
They are like, hey, I'm desperate. My leg's caught in a bear trap.
Yeah.
I'm bleeding out on the side of the road. Can you help me by sending $17 to Kamala Harris?
Every morning I break my arms and every afternoon I break my legs. At night I lay awake until the heart attacks put me to sleep. Yeah. Can you give me $5?
I will match. I will
for
match
the
your
quest
donation.
For patriotism.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
And this is where all of our outside of the United States BBs go. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my spam box is absolutely filled with these emails. You also get calls, you get text messages asking for money for campaigns because it costs money to become the president. And that money is not our tax dollars. It's new, different dollars.
No, it's a lot of money.
That's weird. And it's also our tax dollars, but also other money that we have to give to the maybe president that might not win. It's a bad bet. However, I have two vastly different types of emails in my inbox or in my spam right now. Because no matter what,
show feet.
No matter what you are like registered for, you're going to get both sides of the political spectrum. Like
Left
that's just
and
going to
right
be it. Exactly. So I get the emails for Kamala Harris, which are usually like, democracy is on the line. Give $5 now to save literally anything.
Yeah.
And like, here's the thing. Not technically wrong.
Yeah.
Okay? These are all like things where I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving you $5 to a Democratic politician. However, like it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay? But the Trump emails, I'll literally just get emails
unhinged.
that are just like, that lying bitch is eating your dogs. And you're like, what the hell, dude? You'll just get an email headline that's just like, Kamala's in your house trying to steal your children.
Do you hear
Give
that?
us $10 now to get them back.
If you've ever heard scratching at night, that's Tim Waltz in your Tim Walls.
Yeah.
And he is going to take your children.
Yeah.
He is going to take them and he is going to eat them.
Yeah. Has Nancy Pelosi stolen all the teeth from your mouth? Not yet. Well, then you should probably give money to Trump. And you're like, what does this have to do with Pelosi?
As somebody who was born in the great state of Ohio, I will say this. I cannot support any candidate that does not respect our time-honored tradition of welcoming new Ohioans into the state by having them eat our pets. That is just something, when you move into Ohio and you get an Ohio driver's license, you are handed a puppy or a kitten from somebody that was given to you by somebody in the Ohio community. That's a Midwestern tradition, and neither of these fat cat candidates understand it. Okay? Get in touch with the working man. Get in touch with the working man.
However, you know what I love? There's been a couple of great TikTok remixes from the debate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're eating your pet. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. There's some good choreo to it already.
To let you know, if you're not living in America, to let you know the hellscape that we're living in. People watch that debate go down.
Yeah.
And some of them are just like, I still don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still don't know.
That's the wild one for me.
I still don't know.
People who are straight up Trump supporters actually make more sense to me than people that are like, I'm just really not sure. There's just no good option.
Feels like it's the same on both sides. Am I right?
Like, that is way more wild to me because, like, if you are blatantly a Trump supporter, it's like, at least I know what your alignment is. Like,
I know you're cuckoo
really
bananas.
It's easy to be like, oh, you're unwell.
You're
and
divorced
you hate
from
minorities.
reality. Yeah.
Right. You're divorced from reality and you hate minorities. At least I know what your fucking deal is, right? But it's somebody who can't tell the difference, right? Between these two things that are happening. That's where it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a different type of dangerous because I can't see you coming.
Yeah.
You know?
Who knows
like,
what you're about?
I can spot the other one in the grocery store.
Can I tell you something? If they were if they were giving out gender affirming surgery in prisons,
Yeah.
I know so many friends who would go out and commit a crime today.
Yeah.
6 months rent free, and you're going to give me my expensive surgery?
Yeah.
I'll take a felony on the
idea.
record.
They're so expensive.
They're so expensive. They're so expensive.
So wild. It's the same thing too of like they're doing it in schools. I'm like, we can't get them to feed
That's the-
children in schools.
That's the alternate happy ending to Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah.
In Dog Day Afternoon, Al Pacino gets away with the bank robbery and gets the
Yeah, gets the gender affirming care that he needs
for his girlfriend.
Whatever. Like wild. Absolutely fucking cuckoo bananas. There was so much in there that is just it's simply too much.
It's wild.
It is simply too much to ever imagine.
There's a lot of brainworms going on. There's a lot of brainworms, and they're not all in RFK's head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey.
Anybody, hey, make sure that you're registered to vote. I also think it's worth talking about there being one more, this is just an annoying, terrible thing that's happening. The not annoying, terrible thing was that Taylor Swift came out and endorsed Kamala Harris for president.
Yes.
Hey, I want to say a quick to everybody who's like, who cares? Shut up.
Shut up.
Lots of people care.
She got like 400,000 people to register to vote afterwards.
So many people care.
400,000 registered through her link.
Like so many people care. This is a huge thing for people who were just like unenthusiastic about voting. This is for young people who felt like hopeless and weren't interested and hadn't made sure that they were registered to vote or weren't putting together a voting plan, weren't planning on voting. That's a big deal and is very good and important because like I would really like to be able to continue to have rights as a woman and a gay.
Anything,
so thank you.
If you have the power, if you're somebody, it doesn't matter how important you think that person is.
Yeah.
If you are somebody that has the power to speak up and cause 400,000 people to mobilize.
Yeah.
And you are using that power, that's great. Now, does that mean we have to enjoy watching you dance like a middle school dance at the US Open? No.
I don't care. I also think it's super weird that people are making a big deal out of that.
It's so weird.
Everybody simply, if you if you see a woman enjoying herself and you are overcome with rage and hate, simply leave society and go to therapy. I'd like leave society because you can't handle it here. Literally let this woman exist. I'm not a Swiftie. I'm not a fan.
No.
Why are you guys so weird? And Elon Musk literally should be thrown into the sun.
So that's the thing. She caused all of this mobilization, and the two biggest stories about Taylor Swift this week are Taylor Swift was dancing weird at the US Open.
She wasn't even weird. I don't get it. She was singing along to a song.
She was just dancing. People were like, that's not proper tennis, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Their monocles popped off.
Yeah.
And then the second thing was not what Taylor did, but Elon Musk's response to it, which was the most incel thing in the world I've ever, the grossest, most childish, weirdest response.
Yeah, because she signed her letter talking about how it is the issues that are important to her, that reproductive rights are important to her, that LGBTQ rights are important to her. And she signed it sincerely a childless cat lady because of JD Vance and his weird, creepy statement about women not having any value if they're not creating children. Elon Musk tweeted, "Fine, Taylor, you win. I'll give you a child and protect your cats with my life."
Which, what a gross thing. What a gross incel thing for this fucking 55-year-old man to just be like, clearly what she needs is me to put a baby in her. Ew. Ew.
Death isn't enough for some people. You know what I mean? Death would be an easy way out for some men. And I just think that we have to consider what some other options are.
It's comedy. It's jokes. I'm so funny.
I want to shoot him into the sun, but I want him to survive on it for a while. You know what I mean?
So funny.
Anyways,
that's all of that stuff. We do want to talk about the PS5 Pro.
We got to talk about this PS5 Pro.
This is it. This is it, boys and girls and everyone in between. This is the deal.
It's me. The rest of the studio is everyone in between.
This is it. This is it, boys, girls, and sages.
Yep.
This is the console you've been waiting for. This is the powerhouse. This is real gaming for pros.
And it's $700.
This is a $700 console. And let me tell you, Mark Cerny, they got Mark Cerny out of whatever Tupperware Mark Cerny sleeps in.
Yeah.
I looked at that guy as he was talking and I was like, that man is in some sort of like alien style stasis chamber in between
These
press conferences where they just like, they thaw out Mark Cerny and he's not quite ready yet.
Nope.
But they put him in front of the camera and he's just,
his skin's still got a little of the goo on it. And you're like,
he's got a little of the goo. I was saying this on my stream the other night. I interviewed Mark Cerny once, and it was the weirdest experience of my life. And I was hosting for PlayStation.
Okay.
So I could not react like anything that was going on was weird. And I was like, yeah, people don't know like your whole history. You started off at Sega STI, and you helped make Sonic 2.
Still
and then
the worst name for a company.
And then you made Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. And he goes, the dragon. And I went, yes, thank you. Thank you for letting us know which Spyro I was talking about. And like
in the context.
And then I asked him about the particle system and like what developers, because that was the big thing. It was like the PS5 can push all these particles and like all this stuff. I was like, or the PS4 can push all these particles. It was knack, baby. Knack was coming out. And I was like, tell us like, what kind of things could developers do and like what kind of technology is making that happen? He goes, how would I know?
Why are you here?
His title is Chief Architect.
Yeah.
Chief Hardware Architect.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know what to do.
What, am I supposed to know what the hardware does?
I don't know what to do about this.
That's silly.
Anyway, Mark Cerny came out and gave the PS5 Pro versus PS5.
Guys,
look,
it doesn't make any sense.
It's hard to find. It's hard to find. Here we go. The actual comparison has been buried by everyone on the internet talking about this thing.
Yeah, because here's the thing. There's very little that you could have done with this PS5 Pro that would have had people like, oh, hell yeah, I need a PS5 Pro right now. Like just in the economic state that the world is in and in the place we're in consoles, like there just isn't a need for a slight upgrade. Like that middle of the road upgrade.
This is not the generation for it. We had COVID. We have like very strange economic stuff going on all around the world. That's still fallout from that.
Right.
We've had games get heavily delayed. So you don't even have a library.
Right.
I wonder if Concord was like really made for PS5 Pro.
Ooh.
I wonder if that was the big the big swing.
Yeah.
It's like Concord was like unbelievable on PS5 Pro.
And like middle step consoles are not uncommon, to be clear. Like we've seen that pretty much every generation. There's always a Pro, there's a Switch OLED, there's
always a
Switch
man,
Lite.
There's always a lighthouse.
Right. There's the PS2 Slim. There's the PS3 Pro.
I had a PS4 Pro. I had an Xbox One X.
Yes.
Mid-season refresh or mid-generation refresh is usually when I will grab a console if I have not bought a console that generation.
So it's simultaneously supposed to be for the people that didn't buy within that first launch of the generation and maybe held out for this, or for people that use theirs so much that they feel like they are already ready for an upgrade, which is not happening with the PlayStation 5, and we all know it.
Yeah, so I want to show a couple key moments here from this. They're showing off The Last of Us Part 2 again. Constantly just selling us The Last of Us Part 2. But here, Mark Cerny is talking about the PS5's fidelity mode and the PS5 Pro, and how the fidelity mode, he literally says the PS5's fidelity mode is much choppier. Those are his words. He says much choppier. This is the game that just a couple years ago you were telling us was the ultimate cinematic experience. Much choppier was a weird Weird choice of words. And
What
I'm
do you mean
shocked.
by that?
Well, it runs at 30 frames a second in fidelity mode on the PS5, and on the PS5 Pro, it has the same fidelity, but at 60 frames a second.
Okay.
So he's saying, ew, choppy, 30 FPS.
You can't insult the other console.
He looks like a really tired Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
He looks like the master of disguise.
He looks like a normal guy tried to put on an Elton John costume. Like your straight boyfriend tried to be Elton John for Halloween.
Yeah. This is your friend's dad who wants to tell you about his record collection.
Yeah.
Like, this is the guy. But then they show off a couple like actual close-up, like, here's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on this. Because listen, when they showed off the PS4 Pro, they streamed that launch announcement at 1080p 30.
Ah.
And then, you're going through encoding and
Yeah.
so you're not going to see everything.
No.
You're not going to see everything.
But we've seen announcements before.
Yeah, and like,
Had they looked better before?
look, here's the fidelity mode on the PS5 versus, the regular. And they say, look how much better this looks. And honestly, do you know why? Because the 30 FPS version
Mhm.
has way more motion blur applied to it.
Yeah.
You could apply less motion blur to the 30 frame a second.
Yeah.
Like, it's really weird. Like, that's not a good comparison.
No.
The one that everybody was really talking about, where I'm actually going to give PlayStation a little leeway, it's not the greatest comparison,
Uh-huh.
but here's what I'm going to say. People were looking at this comparison, all right?
Mhm.
And they were saying, I literally can't see the difference.
Yeah.
Now, I can see the difference. Like, this is such a slight difference, and it's so ridiculous to begin with that
Yeah.
you don't need to exaggerate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't need to be like, I've been looking at this for 10 minutes with my glasses and I can't see it. I can see it.
I can see the difference.
It's not worth it.
The difference would not affect my experience with the game at all.
This is
That's
a
what it is.
watchtower far off in the background that they zoomed in on 400%.
Yeah.
And the watchtower in the background that takes up the tiniest bit
Yeah.
has clear windows.
Yeah.
And a bit more clarity on textures.
Yes.
That's what it's got. That's not $700. The one that's really bonkers, though, the one where I'm like, okay, you've got a point, everybody, is this comparison from Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
These are trucks. Spider-Man is in the foreground. These are trucks that are way off in the back. They're like this big.
But again, is that going to affect your play experience at all?
No. And honestly, on this one, I don't see it very much. It's like a little bit in the leaves.
I see the shadows.
Yeah, but I
It's
see
not gonna affect my play
I
experience.
see the
at all.
shadows are a little different, but they're also a little different because the traffic is different on the roads.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a 1-to-1 frame.
Yeah. It's not.
So like, what does it come with? What do you get for your PS5 Pro for $700? They say that it comes with the big three.
Okay.
The big three is GPU, AI upscaling, and I think it's more.
Oh.
I think it's more.
It's more.
It's more. The big three. The big three is basically. I'm sorry. It's no. There isn't a CPU upgrade. That's what's fucked. It's the ray tracing.
Oh.
It's the ray tracing. There's a better GPU. There's
Okay.
better ray tracing, and there's AI upscaling, which is
Yeah.
3 ways to say a better GPU. That's a GPU
Yeah.
and 2 things that a GPU does.
Yeah.
What?
What?
There is a little bit more RAM, but that's not part of their big 3.
Yeah.
And you do get more storage, but that's also not part of their big 3.
Right.
Their big 3 is simply a GPU 3 ways.
But also, the $700 price tag, that's for one with no disk drive. So
Right.
if you already have physical PS5 games, choke.
Yeah.
And if you want the one with a disk drive, that's going to be $800. And if you want to stand it up the way the console is supposed to be stood up, you also have to buy the stand separately. It's not included.
That's right. So apparently, to put the bigger GPU in there, the PS5 Pro They had to yank the disk drive out, I guess.
But there
Whoopsie.
is a version.
There is a version. No, you
more.
have to pay for the additional disk drive.
Yeah.
There is no internal disk drive. It's the big hump disk drive that you can put on the digital.
Oh, is it? There's not one with it built in?
No.
I thought for $100 more it was a built-in disk drive.
No. For $80, you get the one that snaps on. You get the external one.
Guys, that's so bad.
So let's talk about what pro means, because a lot of companies are using the word pro these days, and I need them all to take a fucking nap.
Yeah.
Because pro, there's no such thing as a pro level video game console, okay?
Right.
The most generous thing we can say is prosumer, right? That's the most generous, like not professional,
Yeah.
prosumer.
It would be a weird thing to say, but you could.
You could.
Yeah.
You could. It's for somebody who really cares about their gaming experience and their home theater experience.
Yeah.
And apparently people who care about those things don't want a disk drive.
Because that seems weird. That seems like exactly the kind of people that would be really particular about having the physical copies of their media and the quality connected to that.
fascinating. Fascinating to me. The other thing you do not get is the DualSense Pro controller. You get the standard controller in the box.
Choke.
You don't even get the fancy controller.
Come on.
So apparently the Pro experience does not include the Pro controller. And then the vertical stand, listen, I said this on Twitter and people got mad at me, but I'm gonna say it here. Do I think that the PS5 Pro should come with the vertical stand?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Do I think people that display their consoles vertically are absolute psychopaths? Also, yes.
Really? You don't put your PS5 vertical?
No.
Oh, I do.
It goes into the media cabinet and then the media cabinet gets closed. What do you, vertical? Why vertical?
Because my Xbox is already vertical.
Why vertical?
Because the Xbox you are not supposed to put on its side.
What?
The Xbox, the Series X, the box,
Yeah.
stands up this way. That's how it's supposed to stand. That's like, you maybe can, but it has like a built-in platform on the bottom of
Here's
it.
what I'm going to say. The PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I have more room on my shelves with it standing up.
Throw that picture of the PlayStation 5 stand up, Alex. Don't be shy.
I think that is the correct way to lay a PS5 without a doubt. Also, can this one even lay down? Look at the shape of it. It doesn't even look like it can lay flat on its side.
It's so weird. It has
weird curve to it. Looks like it would lay weird.
No, it has a little thing. It has a little thing and you put it on its side.
Silly. No, that does not belong on its side. I disagree with you fully.
No, because where are you putting it vertically? What does your room look like vertically? Well, I know your TV is already mounted far too high.
I don't live there anymore. That's not true.
How high is your television mounted in your new place?
It's not mounted. It's sitting on a thing.
And you have your PS5 vertical on the same thing as the television? What is it
I
just?
have cubes. We're not getting into this.
No, you have to explain to me how it looks because I can't. Because I can't imagine.
Side by side with my Xbox.
Bonkers. Not only that, not only is it bonkers looking and it's weird as hell to me.
It's prettier that way.
Some people are like, oh, I put it behind my television.
I don't have cabinets that close.
Some people are like, I put it behind my television vertical and I hide it. To which I say, you're a grown up. Mount your television on the wall.
No, a lot of people are renting and don't want to deal with that.
Mount your television on the wall.
Anthony?
And then you have the entire countertop for space for whatever you want.
You're the weird one here.
No.
I'm so sorry.
Disagree.
You're completely the weird
a lot
one
of people a lot of people are saying no vertical. A lot of people are saying no vertical.
It looks better vertically.
Yeah, sure. But I'm not the only one.
Because that's what I see right now.
Your point was I'm the only one.
I'm saying you're the weird one.
I'm not weird.
I think you're the weird one.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Insisting that people mount TVs, lestastic. It's in my lease that I can't mount a TV on the wall. Mounts need drills though. A lot of people are saying
hey,
this.
everyone, grow up.
Here we go. I've got
grow up.
Kodoroku. I agree with Saige. We've got Hermantha saying, Anthony, no.
Yes. Diagonally, says Tom Biden. Diagonally is the only one.
PS5 looks better vertical.
No, it doesn't. It looks like
I'm seeing it.
It looks like a LEED certified organic building. Vertically, it looks like you have a model of the Sydney Opera House in your home.
Laying on its side, it looks like it is like wrong. It just looks like you've done it wrong.
Laying on its side, it looks like a piece of audio video equipment, like it's supposed to. I will say The other thing, to step
Incorrect.
outside of the bit here,
It looks stupid
No,
on its side.
put it over there.
You can't tell me that doesn't look stupid.
looks fine.
that
It
looks
fine.
dumb as hell.
And you put it in
looks like it fell over and you didn't pick it back up.
You put it in
It looks like, oh, do you want me to pick that up for you? Sorry, did it fall in the earthquake?
No. It's good.
It looks like a mistake. It looks like a mistake.
Listen, it looks bad both ways. But here's the thing. The other problem is every single PlayStation console since the PS2, they have told you, oh, look, you can do it vertically as well. Every single PlayStation console
They take up less room that way.
develops problems when you store them vertically. The PS2 would ruin and scratch discs.
Yes.
The PS3 would overheat. The PS4 would also overheat.
That sounds like a
the
PlayStation problem.
And the disk drive would blow up. Yeah, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
Why market your console as something? Now in the PS5, the cool thing about the PS5 is if you store it vertically, it gets so hot that it actually melts the thermal paste on the heatsink, and the heatsink slides off the goddamn CPU
Great.
and breaks.
Thank you. Dave the Dark and Zine Writer. PS5 on its side looks wrong. Looks like it's fallen over.
You're wrong and you're breaking your console.
There you go.
So what I'm hearing is PlayStations look bad and are defective. Yes!
Yeah.
All consoles look weird and are defective now,
Yeah.
except for the Switch.
Yeah, the Switch is perfect, actually.
Switch is just like a
The
little
Switch is
guy.
actually
It
a
just
perfect
sits
little
up there
guy.
like
It
a
looks
little
really
guy.
Cute.
The-
Yeah, most of the time that's the only one. Like I'll put that on the stand on
Yeah.
display.
I got
like my
the
Switch.
little micro stand instead
Yeah.
of the full stand. I think it looks great.
Yeah.
No, the Xbox is simply foolish looking.
I don't love the look of the Series X. It's kind of like innocuous in that like it doesn't draw attention because it's just a little black box, but
Yeah.
it's not good looking. I
It's
don't
not-
like
yeah,
it.
and it's not
it
so
looks like a
little.
little trash can.
Yeah, there's a reason why they released that little mini fridge as
Yeah.
a joke. Is because everybody looked at it and they were like, "This is a refrigerator.
Yeah.
This is stupid looking."
It looks like a little fridge. It looks like a little trash can. I don't love it.
All consoles look bad. Yeah, like that.
That is dumb.
Behold
Like,
the obelisk.
but see what I mean? How it has like that one has the air ventilation on the top of it.
Yeah. The PS5
It is very much meant to be that way.
has very little air ventilation at all.
Yeah. I play my Xbox. Look, I use my Xbox every day. I love my Xbox. I do wish it was cuter. I miss when consoles were cute and interesting looking.
Mhm.
And I think that it looking that like industrial is really unfortunate to me.
Yeah.
Like I love the shape of the Xbox 360.
Yeah, the 360. The 360 is swoopy the same way the PS5 is swoopy.
It's different swoopy, but yeah.
It's swoopy.
It's
It looks
swoopy.
It looks good on its side.
I will say the like shiny material of it was so horrible because it's all scratched up and nobody's is not scratched up.
Dude, you remember when the 360s were breaking and they were like, put it in the oven?
No.
Do you remember this?
No.
360s were red ringing
Yeah.
and they were like, if you wrap it in a towel and put it in the oven, it will heat up the thermal paste and reseat the chips where they're supposed to be.
That is not the original Xbox 360. That's the hold on.
No, that is.
Oh,
Isn't
then
it?
I'm thinking no.
Yeah, you're thinking of the second one, right? You're thinking of the redesign. The
Yeah, I'm
360S.
thinking of the redesign. I'm thinking of the little swoopier redesign.
You're
I am
thinking of the
thinking of
S.
yes. That's the one I have that gets scratched very easily.
Yeah. No, that was a weird one. That was the one that was
I liked that one actually, but it does get scratched very easily.
it was created to match
But I
the
like the
Xbox One.
yeah.
Look, all consoles, a cab, all consoles are bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
A cab, they all break.
I'm just gonna say the only ones that I have any interest in people seeing are my Nintendo consoles because
Mhm.
all of my Nintendo consoles are cute.
Yeah, I have my Japanese Saturn, my candy colored Saturn, my Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I have those
You
out
have
on
your
the-
Segas, yeah.
I do have my PS2 on display right now. I got
Really?
the PS2 Fat.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
And
I have a
and
PS2.
it's on its side. It's on its side.
That one looks like it goes on its side. Like that makes sense.
But they made a thing. I don't know if you remember. If you flip the PS2 vertical,
Uh-huh.
you could rotate the logo on the disk drive vertical.
Here's what I will say though. A console that still had, so now we just put discs into things, right?
Mhm.
We don't have a thing that sticks out. The PS2 still had a thing that stuck out, right? It's still, or do you put the disc?
Oh
straight in?
no, it was not a slot. It was a tray.
Not
Yeah.
a slot. Yeah, it was a tray.
Yeah.
So that on its side is crazy. Trying to put a disc in a tray
crazy.
on its side,
It was literally
ridiculous.
It was literally destroying discs.
Doesn't make any sense.
It was literally scratching
Yeah,
discs
the
to hell.
tray is impossible. That belongs that way.
People are
PS5
asking,
unfortunately doesn't.
how did I display my Wii? My Wii was also horizontal.
Yeah.
My Wii was also horizontal.
Yeah. You just laid it down on its side.
I just laid it down
Fuck
on
the
its
stand.
side. Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're wrong.
It's bad for disk drives.
That one doesn't. That one has a slot though, not a tray.
It doesn't matter. It's still bad for disk drives. No disk drive spindle is meant to go vertically like
You're
that.
a menace. That's not how the Wii goes.
Look, I'll admit that I might be on the wrong side of history on the Wii. The Wii did look decent in its little like
Yeah, it has its little stand.
in
It
its
looks good
little
on its
slant
side.
stand.
Yeah.
It looked kind of cool,
And it was sleek, didn't take up a lot of room.
but I put it horizontally.
But you can store so many less that way. Somebody asked earlier in chat, and I'm sorry I missed your chat. It was like, what am I supposed to do? Fucking stack them then and get no airflow? Because how are they making room for this?
What do you mean?
You have a whole shelf per console?
No, I mean, you could put, if you have like a media cabinet and you have your TV mounted on the wall,
Renters, Anthony.
you can put,
We're
I'm a
all
renter.
renters.
I'm a renter.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. When they come for me, I'll jump out the fucking window.
Okay.
They can't stop me. What are they going to do? They're going to come in and say, don't do it. It's done. It's too late. And now I'm enjoying my television mounted at the appropriate height. When I sit on my couch, the middle of my television is exactly eye level. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my media console,
Yeah.
and I can put all of my consoles next to each other, the ones that I want to display. I can put them in the media cabinet
Mhm.
underneath. Who has a media cabinet? Grown-ups. Grown-ups.
Anthony, you're talking from a lot of TV mounting privilege here. I need you to check your TV mounting privilege. Thank
Can't
you
do
very
it.
much.
Can't do it. This is the one time.
Tom Biden said, how does one store a GameCube? It cube? That's a trick question. You don't store it. That's got a handle. You keep that on you, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You stay strapped up with a GameCube.
I got that thing on me, and by thing, I mean a GameCube. I mean a
GameCube.
spice orange GameCube.
Yeah.
Anyway, the PS5 Pro contains almost nothing.
Yep. The end.
The end. And people are like, how are you going to charge $700 for a console?
Yeah.
$700. Do you know I could build you a mid-tier gaming PC for $700.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd be good.
Yeah.
You'd be good. And then you could put it basically up against a PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
Basically. It's wild.
It is wild.
It's absolutely wild.
Well, while we're talking about wild things,
Yeah.
let's talk about a couple of pieces of game news. Let's get this one out of the way and then probably end on the other because we're going to talk about it for a while.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm listening.
who could have ever seen the consequences of Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard ending in a bad situation for workers? Who could have ever seen?
Who could have ever seen it?
Who could have ever predicted?
And who could have predicted that this bad situation would just continue to get worse over time? Like, it just keeps getting worse.
Who could have predicted that they would say in the beginning that there would be no changes to it and then slowly lay off everyone who worked there?
Yeah. We're not going to make any changes. Everybody's going to get to run independently unless we see that there's some redundancy. What?
What?
Yeah. Like, everybody gets to do what they do unless we already have somebody that does that.
Or we just don't think what they do is necessary at all.
Yeah.
And then we're going to make someone else who already has a job here do that job.
Yeah. So that's fair.
Phil Spencer sent out a memo to staff.
Not Unky Phil.
Shocking, I know. Outlining plans to let go of 650 staff members. Mostly from Activision Blizzard, but from Microsoft overall.
In addition, now this is in addition to the 900 people that they laid off earlier this year.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He did say specifically that there were no canceled plans, no canceled games or devices, and that no studios were being closed by this. Just shaving off 650 people.
What?
What?
How do you get rid of 650 people? I mean, here's the thing. You can say that you're getting rid of 650 people, but you are not going to shut down studios. You're not going to shut down studios right now, but this is a very standard thing that corporations do. They are going to give these companies layoffs. They're going to get rid of a certain percentage of their staff. They're going to hold the remainder of that staff to milestones.
Yeah.
That required the larger staff to reach. And then in 6 months, a year, they get to look at these companies and go, you didn't hit your milestones.
Yeah.
So now we gotta Now we got to axe you. We got to
we
cut
have
you.
40% of our workforce.
Yeah, but we set these milestones, and you gotta hit the mile.
number. That makes, if you include this 650, that makes 2,550 layoffs from Microsoft in the just gaming side since its acquisition of Activision Blizzard in 2023.
Now, this is why you can't. When a company sits in front of the FTC and says, but we promise, and it's not in writing, that's not a promise. Companies don't make promises.
No, and promises aren't legal. Like, there's no legal obligation of a promise.
What do you like? We're not going to change anything.
No, we promise it'll be good for the games industry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Sure. So everything's just going to run exactly as it's written. Now, normally, what a company will do, a company will let whatever businesses that they acquire, they will let them run the way they've been running for like 2 years.
Yep.
2 years. They'll wait for the heat to die down.
So it doesn't look like it has anything to do with the acquisition.
No, it's just normal business. And then they'll start making slow changes, and then they'll do the big cuts.
And then Microsoft came in and said, we're so big, we literally don't even have to pretend.
Well,
we don't even have to do the thing where we like let you operate as is for a little bit to cover it. We can do whatever we want and no one can stop us and it doesn't matter.
There's literally, we did not say or do anything legally binding that will hold us to the things we promised.
Now, mind you, all of this happened while Microsoft made $88 billion in profit last year.
Now, you would think...
Now, $88 billion in profit, billion with a B.
Now, you would think that's enough money to pay your people. But remember, we live in a world where it doesn't matter how much real money a company makes. We are talking about line going up. If line doesn't go up, then the money doesn't really happen. All companies are funded through imaginary fucking money right now. Through imaginary money. They are funded through market confidence, and that's it. And so the $88 billion in profit that they made is not anywhere near as much as their stock value, which is imaginary. So they said, people don't like the stock as much, so we got to let it go.
Well, it's that, and in addition to it, it is exactly that. Is Britt JK is like, but it wouldn't be profit if you pay the employees, obviously said sarcastically.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's insane. The thing is that's insane.
Yeah.
Is they're like, yeah, but less of it would be profit, which means our stock value would go down. And
if
it's like,
you kept everybody on and gave them a $10,000 raise.
Yeah.
Or even people are happy sometimes if you give them like $1,000 raise.
Yes.
Right? You get $1,000 raise across 600 people, $650,000 out of $88 billion.
Yep.
And you don't fire those people and it just costs you a little bit more.
I can't even.
And that's not even a million of that billion. Right? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about imaginary money. Even $88 billion is imaginary money. You know what I mean? We're talking about stock value as imaginary, but $88 billion is like, what are you going to do with it?
It is literally
an
unfathomable amount of money. It is more money than humans can actually perceive.
It's a rounding error. It's an iced coffee for Microsoft. They went out and they got themselves a little treat. The little treat is firing everyone.
Is 2,250 people's livelihoods.
This is awful. And as a reminder, we are caught in a cycle right now where if they keep doing this, if it keeps going as it's been going over the last 10, 15 years, 20, really, if it keeps going this way, there will be no value.
Yes.
There will be no one.
We're already just about there.
There will be no one to buy the products.
Shakma says, spend it all towards AI probably. Here's the thing. If they spent it on AI, that would still be reinvesting in the business and it wouldn't be profit. So this doesn't count all the money they put into those things. This is just profit. And I just want to make that so clear because that's what's so insane about it. This is money that did not get spent, like it isn't being reinvested in the business. Profit. $88 billion with a B in just profit.
Now, here's the thing.
Not the stuff that goes into making games. This isn't how they fund their shit. It's profit.
The thing that's wild is the way that corporations are structured. The way that corporations are structured, you would think that if a company underperformed, if every single studio underperformed to the point where they need to make thousands of layoffs, if I did something at my job that caused us to lose thousands of dollars or caused us to have to lay people off, I would be the first person fired or laid off because of the mistake. Who is making the decisions that are costing thousands of people their jobs? It's the C-suite. The problem is the executive suite doesn't have anybody above them.
Nope. They're supposed to answer to a board, so they do. They have the board.
The board is their friends.
The board hates the employees.
Yeah. The board is usually their friends from other companies that they're on another board with.
Yes.
At that company.
And the board is not interested in paying employees. The board is interested in that line going up.
So you have no accountability at the top, and the top is making these decisions.
Awful. Absolutely horrible.
There's no repercussions for any of this stuff. Except sometimes people decide that there's repercussions for some of this stuff. Annapurna Interactive. You may know Annapurna. They put out a lot of lovely games. They are one of my favorite not indie, but you know what I mean. One of my favorite AA sort of labels.
Yeah, they pick up a lot of indie games.
Yeah.
And indie developers.
They put out Stray. They put out Outer Wilds. They put out Neon White.
Yeah.
You know, games that I love, games that friends of mine have worked on. Today, every single person at Annapurna Interactive resigned. The company was in negotiations to buy the gaming part of Annapurna from the owner of Annapurna Media. Annapurna is movies, games.
Yeah, Annapurna is massive in general.
And it's owned by Megan Ellison. Megan Ellison is Larry Ellison's daughter, the founder of Oracle. Do you like databases? Larry Ellison did that. And if he didn't do it, he bought up the people who did. So she's big money.
Old money.
Big money, old money. And the movie division put out Zero Dark 30. That's right.
Yeah.
Annapurna puts out good movies, good games, good music. But apparently there was a bit of a division between the gaming side and Megan Ellison. They were in negotiations to become independent, to buy the company from Megan Ellison.
Which makes a ton of sense. Annapurna Interactive, the gaming division of Annapurna, has such a separate business from what they do in general.
And a very different vibe.
Really great reputation and has been a company that developers have loved working with and consumers treat as a champion of indie, even though they're not indie, right?
Yeah.
So it's they could split off and become that.
And that's when Blade of Creation says they put out the movie Zero Dark 30 and then you look at their games, you can understand there's a different vibe. This label for these games should maybe be its own thing, and clearly there is some disconnect between the two sides. So they were in negotiations, and apparently Megan Ellison backed out of these negotiations, and everybody just said no, and everybody said, "Oh, you thought we were kidding."
So all 25 members of the gaming division of Annapurna.
You thought we were just jonkling with you. You thought these were japes. We're not a bunch of jonklers.
Not today.
Not today.
Not the one.
So basically, there are a couple people left, right? They brought back in one of the co-founders of Annapurna, Hector Sanchez, to be the president of Interactive and New Media. And he said, he reassured partner developers that the company will continue its existing contracts. That's basically all they could say. All they could say is hey, if you've got a contract with us, we're going to support you. But the thing that's interesting about that is how and with who.
And whomst. And housed.
When you
and whence
are a publisher, there are things that, and you sign on as a developer, hopefully,
Yeah.
if you sign on as with a publisher, you get a few things out of it. Obviously, you get somebody that has good contacts at all of the platforms.
Mhm.
And with all of the QA and all of the testing that you need to do, they know how to get you through those hoops,
Mhm.
get you on the storefronts. But you also have people that are going to market your game.
Mhm.
You have people that are going to help develop your game. They keep senior level developers and creative directors
Mhm.
on hand to look at people's games and help guide them and help. A lot of these developers that are making indie games that are AA games,
Mhm.
this is their first or second game, and they might not know how to run a project like this.
Yeah.
And so you get that help from inside your publisher if the publisher is doing a good job. How there's no one there.
Mhm.
You call the phone and say help on game. No one answer. No one there. All gone.
And like, there are going to be a bunch of developers that are at critical parts of their game that they need the support from their publishers right now. And there are going to be games that are irreparably harmed by not having this support from Annapurna. And it was very avoidable. And I want to be clear, I'm not blaming the people that walked out on Annapurna. They are correct, and this is worker solidarity in standing up for decency. But I'm very concerned for the independent developers that are now working with a totally different company. Even if they staff up incredibly quickly, they're working with an entirely different company than they signed on to work with.
If I was somebody at one of those developers, at one of those studios,
Mhm.
I would be immediately on the phone to my lawyer.
Being like, how do we get out of
And
this?
I'd be like, this has to be a breach of contract. There's no one there.
Yes, this has to be a breach of contract. If I'm a developer and I get a deal with a publisher and I do something that is morally reprehensible and I get crucified on the internet where I've done something that harmed a bunch of people, most of the time there is a clause in my contract that says they get out because they don't want to be attached to me anymore because I've done something outside of the bounds of the person they signed on with.
And this is a business failure too. This isn't even like one of those like good behavior clauses like you're talking
Mhm.
about where it's like, well, we've lost faith in you because you've caused like a scandal.
Yeah.
This is like legitimately the business you were dealing with
Mhm.
is gone because business, as much as they'd like us not to believe it, is
Yeah.
people. I'll tell you this though, if I'm the Annapurna people,
Mhm.
I'm calling all of those developers right now
Yeah.
and I'm saying, hey, just so you know, if you need us to help get
Yeah.
you out of this contract, we will. Because I bet all of those people are starting their studio right now. I bet there's an LLC spinning up
Yep.
right now.
Yep.
Those are smart people. Some people are asking about the Alan Wake and Control
Mhm.
2 deal.
Yeah.
Now, Control 2 and Alan Wake
Mhm.
are very interesting. The Alan Wake TV and transmedia projects
Yeah.
are part of Annapurna Media, not interactive.
Right.
So the Alan Wake TV show
Mhm.
is not affected by this. Control 2,
Is because they are funding 50% of the development costs and the publisher of
well, but this is what's wild.
it. Mhm.
The 50% of development costs
Mhm.
was not through Annapurna Interactive. It was through Annapurna Pictures as part of the TV deal.
Interesting.
So they still have that money. And the thing is that Remedy is basically like, it's not self-publishing, but it's going to be in association with Annapurna Pictures.
Okay, which is a very different way to work with them. It's mostly
Yeah.
the funding that they got for the rights to make Alan Wake and Control Media.
Because Remedy doesn't need the support that Annapurna Interactive
No,
gives.
they wanted money.
Remedy
Needed money to make game.
Remedy can self-publish.
Yeah.
So, and Remedy has the contacts they need and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
So they
made a
just,
bunch of great successful games.
they needed the cash and it was like, hey, we will help you make this game, which will keep your studio open.
Yeah.
And we'll also shop around your TV show, which will get you some money and we'll get Sam Lake some TV stuff,
Mhm.
but doesn't necessarily keep a game studio open.
Yeah.
So it was a really good deal all
Yeah.
around and it won't be affected by this. Although if I was Remedy right now, oof, I would feel a real gurgle at the pit of my stomach
Yeah,
at
it's
having
tough.
to continue working with these people.
That's really tough, and I'm very curious to see what happens next. I'm very curious to see what happens, what comes of Annapurna Interactive. if they just staff up new positions or if they decide, because like, I still think there is the possibility that they could go, this is such bad press that we should just let them separate Annapurna Interactive, give it to the 25 people that just left for, like they're going to sell it to them. They're not, no, like, hey, can we just have it?
Usually
people were planning to buy this.
Yeah, usually this is done through a buyback deal. So it would be a certain amount of money up front and then a certain amount of money every year until the equity in the company is fully owned by the people buying it. Sometimes they'll try to make you pay cash out of pocket. And I have a feeling something tells me they wanted a lot of cash out of pocket up front. They wanted something untenable.
But even then, it wasn't that they wanted something untenable and the employees left.
No, I mean, Megan Ellison wanted something
That's what
untenable.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So even then, though, that's not what ended the negotiations.
Yeah.
It was that Megan Ellison walked.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't even seem like it was like, okay, well then I want this much money. It was like, never mind, there's no amount of money.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
She asked for the moon and then didn't want it.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like.
Not good. Not looking good, everybody.
It's not, Annapurna's not looking great. But hey, that's all right.
That's okay.
There's
It's
games.
not.
There's games coming.
bad.
It's bad.
We wish the very best to the 25 people from Annapurna Interactive that have just left. I hope that they either get what they set out to negotiate for or start something amazing that's, in their control and they get to continue the good work that they've been doing.
Yeah, I'm waiting on the announcement. I have a feeling we're going to see an announcement very soon, and I'm excited for it. Because there are a lot of good people over there. Let's talk about
one last quick thing.
Yeah,
it's 10:21.
Oh my goodness, 10:21.
I told you, I thought we were going to end on that one.
Woof. 10:21. My stars. Okay, well, let's end on one last thing. This is a story of heists, of crime. This is, oh no, that's not what we're doing?
Sure. Oh, no. Actually, what we have to talk about is the Temu lamp because you teased it in the intro.
That's right.
It's no longer a stories of heists and crime.
No, although
there's a Patreon video, so maybe there will be.
It is kind of a story of heists and crime.
It's still, I think, a story of crime.
Yeah. But join us on the Patreon after show. We've got more crime stories.
Yeah.
But this is something absolutely wild. Temu is obviously a bad store, and we know that. Temu was selling a beautiful, quirky croissant lamp.
There is nothing that like a quirky, late millennial, early Gen Z loves more than food-shaped home decor.
Oh my goodness! You get yourself. Is that a croissant that's left out on the shelf?
No, it's a lamp. It's a light-up croissant.
It's a lamp, and I am quirky. I get it.
100%.
I get it. So somebody bought, if you look up croissant lamp, I'm looking at croissant lamps and we're looking at like, $20. We're looking at, anywhere up to like $250 for a beautiful one made by an artist. So obviously if you want a croissant lamp, but you want it on the cheap, get yourself onto Temu.
Right.
Which is what
Frog in a Hat Girl on TikTok. Honestly, screw it. Let's watch the TikTok.
Let's watch the TikTok.
Oh, you can watch it on mine. I've got it. So we can like pause and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm hearing us. Hold, please.
Hold,
please.
Hold, please.
That's us. Now it's all better.
It's a big wind up now.
I fixed it. Don't worry.
So this is a Temu croissant lamp. Apparently bought for her sister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to turn it like way up for them to hear it.
If this is a fucking literal real croissant covered in resin.
And I don't know. I looked at it and I was like, no way.
And anyway, I just poked a bigger hole. And it like low-key looks like a fucking croissant under there.
So it was a croissant lamp, but it was just a croissant with a light bulb shoved into it that also was shellacked.
It was covered in like an epoxy resin.
Yeah, and so she left it on like a windowsill and came home, and there were ants all over it. And she's like, "Why would ants want to eat a fake croissant?"
I don't think you can trick ants into eating.
Look at the LED module in the croissant.
And you look at the inside, and it sure does look like croissant. And I was like, "No way, this is real." And then she starts knocking the crumbs out, and I'm like, why would they make it that realistic? It's Temu.
Temu. I guess there's
But then she commits the greatest sin of the internet. She breaks a piece off, you guys.
She's like, I gotta know. But you already know.
There's other ways to know. You didn't have to eat this.
Frog in a hat girl, you already know.
It's literally fucking food.
No, it was food, and then they put resin on it.
That's not food.
It was food, but then the resin and the ants.
Resin is not food. You can't eat resin. Resin is incredibly poisonous. You're not even supposed to let resin touch your skin. If you use resin with the windows closed, you die, bro.
Yo, I remember there was some dance that we had at high school where the theme was like Paris, because of course it was.
Yeah.
And like, this was something that the student council did on the cheap. They bought like big loaves of bread and baguettes, and they put light bulbs in them and shellacked them and like put them all around.
Really?
Yeah. And then at the end of the night, one of my friends was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to take one of these home. I was like, don't.
It's bread.
It's not, it is neither a lamp nor bread at this point.
It's nothing.
It's
a hazard only.
This is only trash.
And one of your classmates now works at Temu.
And is a millionaire.
Yeah.
So think about that. That classmate, Roger Temu.
She did say she ate that part from the inside? Okay, tell me this. If I took a croissant, okay? Now a croissant, notably, a bread that inflates essentially in the oven.
Yes.
And has lots of like little holes in it to aerate.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I were to dunk it in something.
Like a Dunkachino.
Yeah, let's say I dipped it into water, okay?
Sure.
And then I opened up the croissant. Do you think the inside of the croissant would be wet? Because the answer is yes, especially if it was sitting in it for an extended period of time. The inside of that bread is also going to have resin on it.
Especially because
bread
the
is
resin,
absorbent.
Especially because the resin was melting, and that's how they noticed. That's that ooey gooey resin coating.
So it's not even cured resin.
No.
They didn't even cure it right because it was still soft.
But if you put but if you put a little ham and cheese in that croissant, it could be cured. Little cured meats in your lamp. Am I right? Hey, don't buy Temu. Don't buy things from Temu.
Oh my God.
And don't eat poison.
Yeah, I would say the bigger lesson is don't eat poison, everybody. Even for the viral TikTok. I know it's tempting. I get it. And I, myself, as has been pointed out in the chat, do know a thing or two about deadly and poisonous arts and crafts. I have nearly killed myself on multiple occasions trying to craft.
Yeah.
I carbon monoxide poisoned myself once.
Sure. We set the studio on fire once.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So
we shellacked some chicken wings once and put them on Crocs, and I tried to eat one of the chicken wings after.
Yeah.
Because I looked at it and I said, ooh, chicken wing, and I forgot.
So
even though it was on a Croc.
Right.
I just looked at it, I was like, ooh, chicken wing.
Yeah.
And you were like, Anthony. I was like, oh.
And we didn't even get a viral video out of it. So, you know. That's it, everybody. That's where we're going to leave you. Don't eat poison. We love you too much, so you're not allowed. We are going to
Would you say that all the food is poison?
I would not. I would never say such a thing.
Okay.
We're going to go through and we're going to thank everybody who supported us during the show today. There are a lot of ways that you can do so. If you want a little extra from today's show, you're not getting enough. We got a lot of stuff we didn't get to. You can go to patreon.com/Pixel Circus. $5 a month. You get a bonus clip from this show every week. You get early exclusives on other shows. You get lots of other fun stuff. We've been filming a lot of behind the scenes of weird stuff that we've been doing lately for the Patreon. So lots of stuff going up there soon. You can get a free trial. Check it out if you like it.
$1.1 million a month, and we'll throw a fire festival.
$1.1 million even one time. So if any investors are looking for a couple of cool folks to counter program Fire Fest,
we've only almost destroyed a studio 3 times.
I know of.
Thank you to everybody who shares the show on social media. Thank you to everybody who has joined the Discord and is just hanging out. It's free. You don't have to be a member of anything to join the Discord.
And you can suggest things that you want to see us talk about. If you want us to give our opinions on things, you have some things you want to talk about with the BBs, drop them in the It's Too Early channel on the Discord. You control the show a little bit.
If you're on YouTube right now, go ahead and give us a sub. We really appreciate that. We're trying to get to 10K, so Google will stop stealing our money.
If you're not on YouTube right now and you're listening in podcast form, you're watching on Twitch, you can go over there and subscribe anyways because it's really helpful. And you can like the video because it helps us out a lot in the algorithm to let people know that you dig what we're putting out.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody. Remember, if you're a patron, We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Mhm.
But
Anthony?
otherwise,
Where else do they see you?
they see me on twitch.tv/Anthony Carboni.
There we go.
And also a new episode this week of the official Marvel podcast. We go into the history of Falcon. And we also talk about some of the greatest what if characters ever in the history of Marvel.
Ooh.
I got to talk about Sheep Boy.
Yeah.
And I got to make a Morbius joke that almost got me in trouble.
Ooh.
What about you, Saige?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at NotSage. And here we have a bunch of fun things coming up on the tabletop side of Pixel Circus very soon. How about you, Alex?
You can find me on Twitter at Alder_Mancy, as well as on Instagram at Alex Teplitz. I have a cool announcement that's coming out on Monday, so keep an eye out for that.
Woo!
Woo!
All right, we're going to go through and we're going to thank everyone who supported us here live during the broadcast today. A huge thank you to Care317 for that 12-month Prime sub, a Gregorian year. We'll see you for the big one next month, huh?
Woo!
Bridge AK for 31 months. Thank you so much. That's so many months. Definitely my longest stable relationship. Hey, I'm honored.
Dweeb Laws, thank you for 36 months.
Whoa.
Whoa, that is 3 Gregorian years.
Yeah, that's not Pixel Circus years.
No, it's not Pixel Circus years.
Said been gone a while,
But-
came back. Apparently it's 3 years.
We love it. Thank you so much. And in 3 months, we're going to thank you even more.
Thank you to Sir Ross the Weary for 45 months. My goodness.
Kodoroku with 48 months saying 4 Gregor Ian years.
That's a lot of months.
That's a lot of months. We think you might like us.
THL Katrina with the 40 months as well. Look at all these high numbers. Oh my God, you guys.
You guys have really been hanging out. We appreciate you so much. 30 months with the Prime sub from Demo Nacho. Thank you.
Thank you to Am I Will I Am for 29 months. So appreciated.
31 months with the Prime sub to Jay Newcomb.
Woo! And thank you to White Wolf Fan for 28 months. You all make this show literally possible. And we appreciate it so much. Thank you for spending your morning with us. And we'll see you again on Monday.
Bye,
or on the
BBs.
Patreon, right?